Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. I hope you guys are fired up and ready for this. I'm going to suggest that you consider sharing this with some folks, and I'll tell you why. I haven't had this much difficulty getting a video to load in like a year. And the ones that take a long time to load, or they won't work, or they just have flaws, it's typically because there is a message in there that is literally going to transform somebody's life today. Someone's life will be transformed today, so please share this if it means something to somebody. Gratitude and depression cannot coexist. They are two different energies that cannot take up the same space at the same time. Thank you, those of you that are checking in. I don't read when I'm driving. I'm really focused on the road. I can speak with no issues whatsoever. I can't read, but I do say acknowledge you. If you send some hearts and some laughter, whatever in there, then I'll know you're out there, and I appreciate it. When you look in, you tend to feel bad. When you look out, you tend to feel good. What do I mean by that? Not as blanket statements, it's this. As a general rule of thumb, the number one thief of joy is comparison. When we compare ourselves to other people, we can be robbed of the joy that was meant for us. You see, what we tend to do without thinking about it too much, we tend to, as people, judge ourselves by our behind the scene, getting ready, no makeup on, kids acting crazy, whacked stuff, finances maybe a little jacked up, stuff going on, relationships. We judge ourselves by our behind the scenes, but we tend to judge other people by their highlight reels. You know the highlight reel, that's when you go to the theater with your love and you're sitting back and the previews come on. The very best parts of the movie show up, and that's all you see. You don't see what it took to get there. You don't see what went on behind the scenes. You don't see the hours of makeup and the stuntmen, the preparation. You just see the highlight reels. And we tend to, when we look in, by nature, we tend to default to comparison. And comparison will rob you of the joy that you are entitled to today because of the mega blessings that surround you that get overlooked when we tend to look inward at ourselves in comparison to others. We look in, we tend to feel bad. But see, if you want to feel better and you want to change the world one person at a time, you look out. You look outward. You look out. You look at who can use my help today? Who can I serve today? Who can I be a blessing to today? Who can I be kind to today? Who can I make a difference for today? You see, when you get in your own world and you get in your own mind, you get in your own head, you tend to feel bad. And if you want to learn to feel good, you have to recognize that you were designed and created to be intricately and as if it was orchestrated divinely to be in the lives of the people you are currently connected to today, who are probably going through things as rough as you are. And yet when you take your focus outward and you look out at who you may be able to, and what might that be? It might be a smile. It might be, hey, can I take you to lunch today? It might be, that really is a great looking pair of shoes. Looks wonderful. It might be the smallest thing, a simple word of encouragement or a simple word of kindness can transform another person's life. And here's the principle ain't nobody out there in the darkness wants to tell you about. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a fact of life. It is called reaping and sowing. What you put out comes back to you. Some people call it karma corn, something like that. Reaping and sowing. What you put out comes back. What you put out comes back. Zig Ziglar said this way, if you go out looking for a friend, you are going to find that they are very hard to find. But if you go out looking to be a friend, you will find they are everywhere. You see, a great form of emotional and spiritual maturity, my friends, is your ability to give to another person what they need, which happens to be exactly what you need, but you give it to them first. You give to another out of your need. Do you want to go to lunch with somebody today? You wish somebody would ask you? Ask them to lunch. Would you like somebody to recognize that new hairdo you got? Compliment somebody's hair. Would you like for someone to just come by and say, hey man, I'm thinking about you. I was thinking about you yesterday. I hope you're doing good. Well, then you go out and do that. You give out of your own need. A quote I came up with a year before last was, discover what it is that you want and need from other people and give that to them. You see, when you give out of your own need, you set yourself up for divine reciprocation and to be filled up. You know, the more you pour out, the more you're going to get filled up. But the more you hold in, you're just going to get angrier and angrier and more upset. When we look in at ourselves and our lives, especially in comparison to others, we tend to feel bad. Do you want to feel better? You don't have to wait for something outside of yourself to happen. You have the ability to make that happen for somebody else. You have the ability to give a kind word, a smile, an encouraging statement, a compliment, something, anything. What do you need today? What do you wish somebody would do for you? What would just make your day if somebody said something to you? Well, I challenge you today, my friend, to go and do that for somebody else. Give out of your own need. And just watch how the divine orchestration occurs for your very need to be met in serving and giving to other people. Have a great day, guys.